Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Bakersfield, our Sunday morning meditation time. I invite you to get comfortable where you are. Settle into this time of that sacred time, which is simply that time that is set aside for the remembering of the truth of our being. So right where you are in your homes, wherever you happen to be joining us this morning here in the center, maybe you've taken your device outside and you're enjoying the sunshine this morning. Wherever you are is that sacred place. For it is in the intention that creates it so. And so as we come together in this time of contemplation, we do so in that one mind, in that one heart, in that one spirit. We come together knowing that all is unfolding beautifully. And so we can just relax. We can take that deep breath. And in that exhale, just releasing any of the busyness of the morning that got you to this moment of now. Releasing everything that's going on in the world, knowing that it is all happening in the mind of God, and there's nothing for us to do at this moment but to recenter, to be present. I thought this morning I would share a meditation in song. It was a meditation through one of my classes that I heard in my head in song. And so as we move into the silence, love begins so deep within my heart that it flows from the heart of God. And I can go there, and I can listen, and I can follow. I can allow love to flow deep from my heart into the world. And I do. Taking that deep breath, starting to come back to the room, back to our bodies. Recognizing that we can go to that place of love, that place of unity, that place of oneness that resides within our hearts. Taking those deep breaths, becoming more present to the world. We bring this love with us. We allow it to flow. We allow our lights to shine brightly today. We celebrate this thing called life in all its form and diversity. Gently and easily stretching into your body, coming back to the world. Recognizing and remembering, holding that light dear, holding that light of love. I'm grateful for this time together, for this time of remembering the truth of our being, that we are truly one in the love of God. And so we rest in that. We bring that into our day today. We bring that into the celebration happening in about 5 minutes. I'm grateful for each of you that have joined me today. Namaste.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Bakersfield. I'm Reverend Gregory Toole, and I am so glad you've joined us this morning. We're going to begin with a song from Dar West and Merritt Holloway on the piano. Thank you so much.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the love of God surrounds us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dar and Merritt. I love that song. I am practitioner of today, Sharon Whaley, and I am here to offer this morning's spiritual mind treatment. As we offer, we remember the truth of our being. So taking that deep breath, going within. There is only one life. There is only one Spirit, one God, one divine creative intelligence, one field of pure potentiality. I know that this one love expresses itself in infinite form and variety. It is the love, it is the wholeness, it is the peace and abundance of this thing called life. I know that all the flowers, the colors of the flowers just make the beauty of the bouquet. I know that the diversity is what keeps this beingness whole, complete. If everything was the same, it'd be so darn boring. And so I know that this expression of diversity, of life itself, and from the animals, the insects, the plants, the birds, and every human being on this planet, I know they are all expressions of that one divine love. And so today I stand here knowing that I am one with that. And I know that each and every one of you that hear this voice this morning, hear this word this morning, recognize, I know that we are all divine expressions of that one love. And so we gather together in that, knowing that we are blessed, that this is a time of blessing, this is a time of coming together in peace and love. I know that this celebration this morning is blessed. I'm grateful for the message of Reverend Gregory Toole. I am grateful for the beautiful song of Dar and Merritt Holloway. I'm grateful for our board members that run the business of the center, and I'm grateful for our practitioners that hold that high consciousness. I'm grateful for Parisi and Nita. I'm grateful for everyone who participates in making this center, this place of spiritual community. And it's from this gratitude that I release this word into the law of love, into the law of mind, knowing that it is already done. It is unfolding right here perfectly. And so I let this word go. I let it be. And together we anchor this by saying, and so it is. And so now I believe Merritt will be inspiring us with a song that Dar will be introducing.
How blessed we are. Sharon, that was beautiful. Merritt is going to play for us for his first song, the Moderato Cantabile, and it's by Chopin from the Fantasy Impromptu, Opus 66.
Thank you so much, Merritt. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And good morning. Our topic today is mindful intentions. So I'm very thrilled to spend a little bit of time with you focusing on mindful intentions. And I've been reading the biography of Ernest Holmes. There are many, but this one is called Open at the Top. And I'm reminded of just how much Ernest Holmes really believed in spiritual mind treatment and the power of spiritual mind treatment, and that really is the legacy of Ernest Holmes. That's really what he offered to the world. That's what he offered to our New Thought movement, is this gift of this spiritual tool, this spiritual practice called spiritual mind treatment. And in spiritual mind treatment, we're not only mentally treating our minds, we're also spiritually treating our minds. We're spiritualizing our thoughts, if you will. We're bringing this greater truth into our consciousness in order to align with. We're not really bringing anything that isn't already there. It's kind of like an addition by subtraction. We're kind of clearing the way. We're kind of clearing everything in our consciousness that would oppose the truth, because there really is no opposition to truth. All of life is one, and there is no separation. Ernest Holmes, in his book, Living the Science of Mind, said, "Human thought is creative because our thought is God power flowing through our individualized will and imagination." So it's this energy of aligning with God. In the first two steps of spiritual mind treatment, we declare essentially that God is all there is, and then I am one with God, as well as everyone else that I'm including in the treatment is one, our individualized expression of the divine. Even if we don't like the word God itself, some people haven't had a positive experience with that. Whatever we want to call it, it doesn't matter. Spirit, the divine, God, whatever it is. But in spiritual mind treatment, we're first aligning ourselves to know that I am the divine. I am God in expression. And what we believe is that our thoughts become things. Our thoughts become manifest as our reality. I love this quote from Ernest Holmes' book, This Thing Called You, where it says, "When the time comes that nothing goes forth from you other than that which you would be glad to have return, then you have reached your heaven." When only the words that go forth, the thoughts, the words that go forth from us are what we want to experience in our life, that we have gotten that much dominion over ourselves and our thoughts and our speech, then, Ernest Holmes says, we will have reached our heaven, because then we will only be manifesting that which we want to experience in our lives. In our Declaration of Principles, we say that we believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. And as I said earlier, treatment is often kind of a addition by subtraction. We're releasing and clearing all that gets in the way of that divine splendor that we are expressing. And I love this sense that God is an infinite self-givingness. I've been working with that in my spiritual mind treatment, that God is an infinite self-givingness, that God is ever giving of itself and never withholding. So here we are in life with this infinite power, this infinite creative medium to be able to create that which we want in our world. And we don't want to be creating today's topic, this mindful intentions. If we've got this great power, which we do, then we want to be mindful of how we're using that great power. We don't want it to be random. We don't want it to be by default. our fear thoughts, our that which we don't want to experience that starts to consume our mind, starts to fill our consciousness, and then begins to create our reality. We want to be proactive. We want to begin creating from this place of mindful intention, intentional. Those two kind of go together very nicely. So there's also this concept that's really up in the world right now. This concept called implicit bias. I like the term unconscious bias. And it is those biases that we don't even know we have. It's kind of through the conditioning of life and things we've been taught and things we've heard and things we've just kind of come to believe without even realizing that we believe them. And there's a website from Harvard University. You can Google it, Implicit Bias, Harvard University. And you can actually take these little tests that will help you to uncover some of your own implicit bias. And it's quite extraordinary. I took one some years ago, actually. I don't even there's tests you can take around different areas like sexism, racial bias, gender bias, whatever. And I don't even remember which one I took. It's been quite a few years. But what I do remember is being really surprised at the results. Really surprised that I uncovered some of my own hidden biases. And this is really up for us in the world right now. This is really coming to the surface right now, where we're getting to look at and getting to examine what we do right in our own classes here at Center for Spiritual Living. We uncover hidden beliefs, unconscious beliefs, things that are serving, or things that are manifesting in our life, things that are manifesting in our world that we're not even aware of. This is often the work of a practitioner when we go to a practitioner, because it's like that person that said to Jesus, "Lord, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Help that part of me that doesn't believe." And in some cases, we don't even know where that unbelief is. And so we go to a practitioner and we meet with that practitioner, and that practitioner helps us to uncover those places in us where we're not even aware of a thought pattern that is limiting us. We're not even aware of a groove that's been cut in our consciousness that really doesn't serve us. So we're learning as humanity, we're really coming in, I think, to this place as humanity where we're really, it's the COVID virus. I would say this COVID-19, if there's a gift in this, which I believe there's a gift in everything, that all things truly do work together for good, it's the gift of us recognizing, and I think I talked about that the very first week I spoke when this virus was just starting to come about, but it's that gift of becoming aware of our interconnectedness, becoming aware of our interdependence, that how much we affect one another. There's the Science of Mind beginning days where so much of it was more individualized. So much of it was more about, what can I manifest in my life? What kind of healing can I create for myself? What can I manifest materially that I want? How can I heal from a particular illness or physical condition? And I think where we're evolving to now is, how do we use this power not only individually, not only to create what I want personally for myself, but how do we use this power collectively, since we are all one? This is the expanded version of oneness. The first version of oneness that we get is that I am one with God. And because I am one with God, I can create my world. I can begin to manifest that which I want, because that one power that is God is in me. That's the first level of realizing our oneness. But then this next level of realizing our oneness is kind of, it's like a paradox. because a lot of times in that first stage of understanding our oneness with the divine, we kind of go like, well, I got mine, you get yours, right? We kind of go like, hey, where's your consciousness? My consciousness, I've built my consciousness up and I'm manifesting all of this. You build your consciousness up. And there's some truth to that, right? We each individually do need to build our consciousness. We each individually do need to come to that place where we have dominion in our lives. But there's a place beyond that we get to evolve to, which I believe is what is taking place for humanity right now. And that's where we recognize unequivocally our interdependence, our connectivity with each other. And wouldn't it be, kind of looking at it now, wouldn't it be kind of obvious that in a teaching of oneness where we say nothing is separate, everything is connected, wouldn't it be kind of obvious that we would have to eventually evolve to this place where we started to say, how do we use this power collectively? How do we begin to deal with what Ernest Holmes called human race consciousness? And how do we evolve the human race consciousness? Not just how do I evolve my consciousness individually, but how do we evolve this thing called the human race consciousness? And of course, the way we ultimately each do that is we do evolve our own consciousness. But I think a further step in that is that we start to recognize the connection. We start to recognize our interdependence, that I am you and you are me. And we start to see that, we start to recognize that, and we start to see that there's no separation. It's not like I got mine, you get yours. It's like, you are me. I am you. So therefore, I begin to care about you as much as I care about myself. And I begin to care about every other being in the same way that I care about myself. This, I believe, is what we're really learning as a world right now. We're really evolving rapidly. It's why I think it's so uncomfortable for so many people. And it's not always easy. Like we say, sometimes the truth shall set you free, but first it will make you mad as heck, right? We're waking up. We're seeing a greater reality. And in my talk last week that I gave to a community in Columbus, Ohio, I was talking about how we have to let go of this idea of who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's good, who's bad, who's right, who's wrong. That's contrary to what I'm talking about here today. Because what I'm talking about here today is where we recognize the divinity in each person. So each person is God in expression. So where would there be the bad guy? So we all, I think, have to step out of this idea that even if I uncover, like I did several years back, my implicit bias, my unconscious bias, even though I uncover my unconscious bias, that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make you a bad person if you uncover your unconscious bias, your implicit bias. All it really means is that we're becoming more conscious. When we uncover the hidden beliefs, they're no longer hidden. And now we get to choose consciously. We got to have mindful intentions. What do I consciously choose? What do I mindfully choose? That's kind of what got implanted in me through whatever ways. Sometimes it's just through being a human being. We're connected into every other human being, and by being connected to every other human being, we pick up what Ernest Holmes called the human race consciousness. So there's things we believe and ways that we look at life that we never consciously decided. We never consciously decided, I'm going to look at life this way. You know, like for example, someone that has a belief that they're not good enough. I have worked with that belief in my lifetime. Someone has a belief that they're not good enough, somewhere, you know, it's unlikely that anyone ever consciously chose that belief. Said, you know what, I think where I want to go in life, where I want to be, is I want to live a life where I don't believe I'm good enough. This is what I'm going for. I don't know, why not? Try that out. Probably not. Probably not. Probably somewhere through life's experiences, probably at a very young age, the mind on its own said, look at all these things that are coming at you right now. And it started unconsciously to believe, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. So I think where we're evolving to as humanity is we're coming to that place where, again, we recognize our interdependence, our interconnectivity, and we're starting to be really willing to look at individually and collectively our implicit biases, our unconscious biases. I must say, as a person of color, there have been 3 words that have been being uttered in many corners that had not been uttered in those corners before. And I must say, it has really soothed my soul. It has really been personally healing for me. And those 3 words are Black Lives Matter. 3 simple words. But one of the first places I saw it is from a company called TechSoup. And they're a company that offers technology at a discount to nonprofits. And a very well-known company, very significant company. And I got an email from them because I've purchased something through them. And they were just so clear in their statement that Black Lives Matter. And to me, that's not a political statement at all. Some people have made it political, from all different corners, not just one group of people. From all different corners, many people have made it political or tried to use it maybe in a political way. But those 3 words are not political at all. They just have really great meaning. And so some would say, well, all lives matter, and that is absolutely the truth. But as a subset of all lives matter, it would equate to, then if all lives matter, that Black lives matter. So someone would say, well, then why do we have to state that Black lives matter? And I was contemplating that this week. And I already had my own reasons for that, just because, I've lived this experience. But then I had a more clear answer to why we need to say those 3 words. And that is that when we go back all the way back almost 300 years now, I guess, 250, something like that, when the Declaration of Independence was created. And the Declaration of Independence said that in the second paragraph, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among those are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And so one could say, well, we already said it back then, right? We already said all men are created equal. However, we have to realize the context in which that was written. That was written at a time when Black people were enslaved. So if you say all men are created equal, but certain people are enslaved, now, by us saying now, Black Lives Matter, it's a beautiful spiritual mind treatment. It's a beautiful neutralizing of the messages that came forth that were inconsistent when we said all men are created equal, but certain people are enslaved. So it is this beautiful healing moment for us that really has nothing in my mind to do with saying any group is good or any group is bad, any group is worse, any group is better. It's a healing moment is what it is for me. It's been so healing, when I logged into my Amazon account, they had a banner that said Black Lives Matter. All these different companies, all these different celebrities, all these different prominent people that have said it. And for people who may not have had that experience, may not have had the Black experience, they may not have lived a life in brown or black skin, it may seem trivial and it may seem like it doesn't matter. But I can just really tell you just from a healing point of view, how healing this week that has been for me, to read those 3 words coming from so many places and so many friends reaching out and saying to me, "How are you? I want you to know I really care." And I could feel it at this really deep level. Those 3 words are really important right now. Black Lives Matter. Not as a political statement, not as a statement of being better or worse than anyone else, but as a healing statement. It's like a treatment. It's like we've had this implicit bias that has said black lives are less important, and by just those 3 words, it's a spiritual mind treatment. We're neutralizing that unconscious bias, that implicit bias, that even when they did a study with young black children and gave them a white doll and a black doll and said, which one is the good doll and which one is the bad doll, that even these little children, these little black children, said the white doll was the good doll. So this is this level of implicit bias that somehow has seeped into our consciousness, sometimes by very not well-meaning people, but often, probably for most of us living in the world today, in modern society, those implicit biases just entered our unconsciousness without us even being aware of it. And then we just carried it around, and then it began to manifest. So the invitation today is really to step into mindfulness with our intentions, to recognize our interconnectedness, our interdependence, to recognize the power of our words, to recognize the healing power of our words and the healing power of our thoughts. To be willing to look at those places in us where there are hidden beliefs that maybe don't serve us and don't serve the collective. Doesn't make us a bad person if we uncover those. We all have them. And what this teaching is about is expanding our self-awareness, expanding our consciousness. And as Ernest Holmes said, let's go back to that quote, and let's end on that quote, because I just love that quote from Ernest Holmes, where he said, when the time comes that nothing goes forth from you other than that which you would be glad to have return, then you will have reached your heaven. So let us this day and every day going forward just expand our consciousness and be so mindful with our intentions, so mindful with our words, so mindful with our thoughts, that not a single thing that goes forth from us is anything other than what we want to return back to us on a very deep personal level. Thank you so much, and God bless you. So let us take that into prayer. Love this community so much. Love all of you so much. Love that there's a space here where I could feel safe to give the talk that I gave today. So we turn within. We turn within and we know that one power. We know that one presence. We know that there's only one life, one mind, just one, only one, only one. And so I recognize myself as a divine expression of that one whole, perfect, complete life that is God, that is divine, that is good. And I recognize every person who is watching this service, every person in this community, every person that concerns us, every person I can possibly conceive of. In this moment, I see so clearly as a divine expression of that one, and therefore good in their very nature, good in their essence, love as their essence. And so in this consciousness of oneness, where we are all in the one, as the one, even as we very uniquely express the one. I speak this word today and know that we, us, each of us, and all of humanity are awakening to this great place of awareness of our interconnectedness, of our interdependence, and of how much good we can do for each other and how much power we have to heal all that ails humanity. So much power in each one of us because we are each vitally, intimately connected to that source that is infinite power, infinite love, infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom. And so I know right now that we are awakened to that truth and we are living from that truth where we recognize how powerful we are and we are speaking our words. We are speaking the words that heal. We are speaking the words that uplift. We are speaking the words that dissolve all that which does not serve us individually and all of that that does not serve us collectively as humanity. And oh, what a beautiful, amazing world we are creating right here, right now. And what a beautiful world it is right here, right now. Even in all of what appears to be a degree of chaos, it is a beautiful unfolding, a beautiful transformational time, and we are rising to the occasion, each of us individually and all of us collectively. I am so very grateful to be alive, to be present, to be aware, to be awake, to be conscious. And I am so very grateful for so many others that I know and experience and who are in this community and who are in this world who are also awake, alive, conscious. In great gratitude, I let this be. I release this, that immutable law that only knows to say yes, and therefore I know it is done just as I have declared, touching and agreeing with each one who is listening. Let us ground it together with the words, and so it is. We'll hear from Dar and Merritt once again. Blessings.
So right on. I am so blessed. No, Mary? My bad. We're very honored to have our pianist, and we all know that, and we love him. And this song Merritt wrote himself. The name of it is Give Thanks, and he wrote it May 6th on 2015. And for those of us that were here, it has special meaning to us and special meaning to Merritt because he was hospitalized at that time. And his love for us and our love for him brought about this song.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Merritt. That's beautiful. You play that piano so beautifully. We appreciate you. Thank you. And we have reached our offertory time, and we really appreciate all of your gifts and the way that you continue to generously give financially to the center. That is what has enabled us to just keep on going even through this COVID-19 experience. And I'm sure Sharon will be talking about the fact that we're going to invite people back into the sanctuary in a couple weeks. And that's going to be a wonderful experience, and it'll look very different than it has in the past until we finish navigating this COVID-19 thing. There'll be things like social distancing, and we will refrain from hugging and shaking hands, and we'll be encouraging people to wear masks and things like that. But otherwise, it will be the same in the sense of our spiritual connection and our spiritual uplifting of each other. So in this moment, let us read our offertory statement together. Divine love blesses this gift. It is circulated with love, and it returns to me pressed down and overflowing. I am a happy giver and a grateful receiver. Our center is blessed, and so it is. And we have many ways to give. You can go to the website, centerforspirituallivingbakersfield.com, and click the donate button, or you can give at our P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 617, and the area code is 933, or the zip code is 93302. Thank you so much, and we'll hear from Dar once again.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. We are so blessed, we are so blessed, we are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed, we are so blessed, we are so grateful, we are so blessed.
Thank you. And Merritt, that was beautiful. And Reverend Gregory, thank you so much for that message. I've got a few announcements here. As Reverend Gregory already mentioned, we are actively planning on opening the center. There will be some emails, I'm sure, of how we're going to do this. I have my mask. They will be optional, and we've got some other things that we're still working out, but I believe the target date is the 28th of June, so 2 Sundays from now. A reminder that every second Sunday of the month we have a community meeting, and today is the second Sunday of the month, so we are having our community meeting at noon, and I believe a Zoom link has gone out for that. Our annual meeting is going to be happening July 12th, and that again I believe will be on Zoom and or some hybrid of in-person Zoom meeting, and that is the time where we're going to be actually voting in our our new board members, so just confirming them, and yeah, that sort of thing. We want to thank everyone that continues to support your center. We still also have the roof sponsorship. I noticed the number has gone up. We have $4,050 in that particular pot, and we're about halfway to the amount we need to replace the roof on our building. So continue to give as your heart is moved. I and Ann Cannett are your practitioners here in Bakersfield, and we, and as I'm sure Reverend Gregory, are available for you if you need prayer, if you need just someone to talk to. Please reach out to us, and I believe all our contact information is on our website or possibly in the e-bulletin. And if you're not getting our e-bulletin, that's our primary way of getting information out to you, contact Anita at the center, or you can text Teresa at 661-497-2222. And looks like Amazon Smile, another reminder of how to give to your center. That information is also in the e-bulletin, and we are still planning that rummage sale, yard sale. So, continue to keep us in mind as you are cleaning your homes for any items, any gently used items that you would like to donate for that fundraiser. I think I covered everything on our list. I want to thank you all for joining us this morning, and looks like we're ending a little early so you can start the rest of your Sunday. And I'd like to reintroduce Dar, and we will do the peace song as our closing song this morning.
Thank you, Shannon. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Namaste. Thank you for joining us. See you next Sunday.